Finally, strong indications have emerged that the emergency rule in Rivers State will come to an end on September 18th, 2025, paving the way for a return to full democratic governance. For months, speculations had filled the air. Would the 6-month emergency rule be extended, or would Rivers finally breathe the fresh air of democracy? Until now, officials either denied knowledge or claimed to be in the dark, but an official announcement from the emergency government has now put the matter to rest. A statement signed by Professor Ibibia-Loki Warika, Secretary to the state government, confirmed that Rivers State would transition back to democratic rule. The statement invited select stakeholders to an interdenominational church Thanksgiving service, part of activities lined up to usher in democracy after 6 months of sole administratorship. This marks the official end of the state of emergency declared by President Bola Tinubu on March 18, 2025. Now let's rewind the clock, shall we? Recall that President Bola Tinubu, citing a breakdown of law and order in Rivers State, declared emergency rule earlier this year. By this declaration, Governor Nyesom Fubara, his deputy, Mrs. Ngozi Odu, and all elected members of the Rivers State House of Assembly were suspended for an initial 6 months. To fill the vacuum, Tinubu appointed Vice Admiral Ibok-Ete Ibas, retired, as sole administrator of Rivers State. The judiciary was exempted from suspension and continued to function. At the core of this crisis was the bitter feud between Fubara and his predecessor, now FCT Minister Nyesom Wike. The Assembly, loyal to different power blocs, had threatened Fubara with impeachment. Budget presentations turned into legal battles, with the Supreme Court invalidating one of Fubara's budgets because it was presented to an improperly constituted assembly. Security in the oil-rich state worsened, with violent clashes, vandalism, and protests heightening tensions. Faced with paralysis and escalating violence, Tinubu made the extraordinary move to suspend democratic structures in the state. 6 months of sole administratorship, what happened? That's the big question a lot of people are asking. Under Admiral Ibok-Ete Ibas, Rivers State witnessed some dramatic decisions and controversies. Suspension of political appointees upon assumption of office. He swept aside Fubara's political appointees. He appointed 11 new permanent secretaries, consolidating his control of the bureaucracy. He presented a 1.48 trillion naira budget, generating fierce controversy. In that budget, 24 billion was earmarked for CCTV cameras, 30 billion for gunboats to secure waterways, and 23 billion naira as contingency fund. The House of Reps ad hoc committee demanded explanations and a breakdown wherein the scale of these allocations. Local government elections were conducted, in which APC swept 20 councils, leaving just 3 for the PDP, an election many critics dismissed as skewed by federal influence. Security and governance. Of course, he launched security operations in volatile waterways, but critics say insecurity persisted in rural areas. Revenue allocation and project execution under the 1.48 trillion naira budget remain opaque, with civil society groups calling for a forensic audit. One notable critic, Hilda Dokubo, a Labour Party stakeholder in Rivers State, condemned in strongest terms what she described as the reckless handling of Rivers State funds by the sole administrator, Ibok-Ete Ibas.
Their so-called administrator, Vice Admiral Ibok, retired, whatever his name is, unveiled a jaw-dropping 1.48 trillion budget. Not a dime of that budget passed through any elected officer. No debates, no public input, no transparency. Just one man, handpicked and imposed, waved a pen and signed on a paper and called it our budget. A budget that was going to be like signing away billions of our common wealth, your wealth and mine. And what are we getting for it? 24 billion to install CCTV in government house. That government house built by Julius Berger with CCTV all over the place suddenly needs new CCTV. What happened to the CCTV that their sole administrator met there? Rats ate the wires, maybe. Or this sole CCTV is going to be scanning the soul of humanity and would know what the intentions of other people are. Or maybe it will just see all of Rivers State from the government house. 24 billion. 24 billion, and this man did not think to invest that in our schools, not on our streets, not in curbing crime, nothing, not in hospitals or clinics, not even in paying staff, because civil servants haven't been paid since the day he arrived, but in government house. To protect who? To scan who? To see who? To search who? Please, where is this CCTV going to be hanging? On top of somebody's head, I guess. We already have CCTV, Oga. Don't waste our 24 billion. Then there's 30 billion for gun boats. Gun boats. Hey, master. What exactly are you planning? What are you preparing for? A river war? Or is there one in your imagination that you think must happen? Is this government-owned boats or a private navy? Because you were a navy commander, I don't recall you buying any war boats or gun boats. I mean, like, you worked with Nimasasa. Did you buy gun boats? 30 billion. How many gun boats? And then this one that is very annoying, 23 billion of Rivers people's money dumped into vague contingency funds. No details, no oversight, no answers, nothing. If you put all of that together, 23, 24 and 30, that is 77 billion of our money, my money, your money, River State people's money gone into a black hole while mothers are still giving birth on clinic floors. Teachers on strike for unpaid salaries, and thousands of youths roaming jobless on our streets. Whilst our streets are still dirty and the lights don't come on, we will be wasting 77 billion on nothing. What kind of leadership is this? What kind? Not that we didn't know from the day you arrived that this was not about any state of emergency or any peace, because there was no conflict, there was no war, just two brothers having their own misunderstanding. Suddenly you are dumped on us. Not that we didn't know it was because of our money. We knew it was our money, but sir, we did not think that you were going to be this totally inconsiderate of the people of River State. This is total undermining of who we are as a people. You are not our elected governor. You didn't campaign. You didn't ask for our votes. You were not chosen by the people of River State. You are not River State. You were sent here and installed.
While all of this were going on, 3 months into the emergency rule in Rivers State, President Tinubu convened a meeting at the presidential villa with Nyesom Wike, Siminalayi Fubara, and suspended members of the Rivers State House of Assembly. Emerging from the late night talks, Wike declared, "We have all agreed to work together with the governor, and the governor has also agreed to work with all of us." But here lies the million-dollar question. Was peace really brokered, or was Fubara arm twisted into submission to his political godfather? As Rivers State prepare for the return of democracy, Governor Fubara and his deputy will resume office. The House of Assembly will reconvene. Rivers people expect stability and reconciliation, not a repeat of the bitter power struggles that led to 6 months of emergency rule. Yet, many wonder, will the new Fubara be his own man, or simply a humbled version of himself under Wike's shadow? What happens to the contracts, appointments, and budget decisions made under the sole administrator? Will they be reviewed or left intact? Has Rivers truly moved past the crisis, or is this merely a pause before the next storm? For now, Rivers people may breathe a sigh of relief as emergency rule winds down, but the true test of democracy lies ahead. Can Governor Fubara govern independently, foster harmony with the assembly, and rebuild trust with the people? Or will the shadow of godfatherism continue to loom over the state? One thing is certain. Here at Political Arena, we will continue to track every development, dissect the issues, and bring you balanced analysis. So what do you think? Is Rivers truly free, or is this just democracy with strings attached? Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and join the conversation in the comments. See you in the next one.